What would happen if you let go of everything that's holding you back? What if you decided, right now, to embrace the kind of change that would shake the very core of your life? Imagine standing at the edge of everything you know, ready to leap into the unknown. It feels terrifying, doesn't it? But here's the truth. This is where real transformation begins. We all fear change. It's in our nature. The unknown is a place that feels dangerous, unpredictable, and most of all, out of control. For most of us, staying where we are feels safer. But here's the powerful secret no one tells you. Staying where you are is the true danger. The truth is, nothing grows in comfort. Nothing extraordinary happens in the places where we feel safe. But here's the catch. Change is inevitable. Life will shift. You will face moments that demand change. The question is, how will you respond? Will you fight it, resist it, or will you embrace it and use it as fuel to become something greater? Think about every success story you've ever heard. Every breakthrough in history. It all started with a moment of change, a decision, the courage to step into the unknown, even when the odds were stacked against them. From every scientist who challenged the status quo to every athlete who pushed through pain and failure, change was the catalyst that sparked their transformation. And the same can happen for you. But first, you have to understand the truth. Change doesn't come to hurt you, it comes to set you free. Right now, you might be stuck in a cycle, trapped in a life that doesn't feel like your own. You might be doubting yourself, waiting for the right time, or thinking you don't have what it takes. But I'm here to tell you that the only thing standing between you and the life you've always dreamed of is the willingness to change. No one becomes great by staying in their comfort zone. No one accomplishes their dreams by waiting for things to magically get better. Success happens when you take that first step into change, even when you don't feel ready. It happens when you choose to move forward, not because the path is clear, but because you trust that it will unfold as you go. Psychologically, we are wired to fear change. Our brains crave certainty. We like knowing what's coming next. It's why we tend to stick to familiar patterns, even when those patterns aren't serving us. But think about this for a moment. What if the discomfort you feel when thinking about change is actually a sign that you're on the verge of something incredible? What if that feeling of fear is actually the universe telling you that you're about to step into a version of yourself that you've never met before? When you start to embrace change, something incredible happens. Your brain starts to shift. You start to grow. You begin to tap into a part of yourself you didn't know existed. Every time you make the decision to change, no matter how small the action, you create momentum. And momentum is power. It's what fuels your journey. It's the spark that keeps you going, even when the road is tough. The most successful people in the world didn't just get lucky. They didn't wait for the perfect moment. They got there because they understood the power of embracing change. They took one step forward when everything inside of them screamed to stay still. They trusted the process even when it didn't make sense. And they became who they were meant to be because they allowed themselves to grow. So what would happen if you decided right now to embrace change? What if you took that one step forward even when you're unsure of what's ahead? What if you didn't let fear control you? What if you decided to see change not as something that's threatening you, but as something that's calling you to be more, to do more, to live more fully? The truth is, you are capable of so much more than you realize. You are capable of becoming a version of yourself that you've only dreamed of. But that version of you will only come to life if you choose to change. Remember, growth happens when you step into the unknown. Every challenge, every moment of discomfort is a sign that you are on the edge of something greater. The decision is yours. You can stay where you are, or you can take that first step toward the life you've always wanted. Change is waiting for you. Will you answer its call? Unusual activity has been detected from your device. Try again later. 95 D7 F64 DCD 6A 815B DFW. You see, change isn't just about taking risks or facing the unknown. It's about unlocking your potential. It's about realizing that you are not confined to the person you are today. You are a living, breathing work in progress, constantly evolving. And when you understand that even the smallest change can propel you into something far greater than you've imagined, you begin to see the world in a completely different light. Imagine for a moment that your potential is like an uncharted map, with hidden treasures scattered across every corner. The only way to discover those treasures is to start exploring, and every step you take toward change is like uncovering a new part of that map. It might not make sense at first, and the path might feel unclear, but with every decision to move forward, you're uncovering a future that is more amazing than you could have dreamed. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that change needs to be drastic, that it has to be a monumental event to truly matter. But the truth is, the most life-altering transformations happen through small shifts, the ones that happen every single day, the one small habit you choose to change, the mindset you decide to adopt, the decision to show up when everything else tells you to give up. These aren't just random actions. These are the very seeds of success. And over time, they grow into something far greater than the sum of their parts. The reason why small changes are so powerful is that they tap into something fundamental in the way our brains work. The mind is like a muscle. It gets stronger with repeated action. Every time you make a small change and stick with it, your brain rewires itself, creating new neural pathways that reinforce the behavior. What this means is that you're not just changing a habit, you're changing who you are at a deeper level. You're programming your mind to believe that you can and will do more. You're building a foundation of unshakable confidence that will carry you through every challenge, every obstacle. But it all starts with that first decision, the one that feels uncomfortable, it feels uncertain, almost like you're stepping off a cliff, but in reality, you're not falling, you're rising. That first step into change is like launching yourself onto a new trajectory. And while it might feel strange or even terrifying at first, know this: you are not alone in this journey. Every person who's ever achieved greatness, every person who's ever turned their life around has felt that fear. They've faced that uncertainty, but they chose to act anyway. And that choice, that small, brave decision, is what set them on the path to success. What makes change even more powerful is that it is within your control. You have the ability to shape your destiny, not by waiting for the perfect moment, but by taking action today. You don't need permission to change. You don't need anyone's approval. You don't need to wait for the stars to align. You have everything you need within you right now to make that shift. You are the key to unlocking your own greatness. This is why change is so incredibly exciting, because when you change, you open doors. You begin to see possibilities that you never saw before. You start to realize that the life you've been dreaming about isn't as far away as you once thought. The road ahead may not be perfectly paved, but with each step you take, you build momentum. And momentum, like a snowball, grows bigger and faster the longer you let it roll. You start small, but you end up unstoppable. Now, think about the way your mind works when you're faced with a choice. When you make a decision, especially one that involves change, your brain immediately begins processing the possible outcome. It starts weighing the risks, and it focuses on the discomfort of stepping into the unknown. But here's the secret: the brain isn't designed to make your life easier. It's designed to protect you from perceived danger. And when you make the decision to change, your brain sees that as a potential threat. It wants to hold you back because it's trying to keep you safe. But that safety comes at a price. It keeps you stagnant. It keeps you from growing, from evolving, from becoming the person you are meant to be. The key to overcoming this mental resistance is simple: take action anyway. The more you take action, the more your brain learns that change isn't a threat, it's an opportunity. The more you embrace change, the more your mind will start to see it as a source of power, not fear. And once your mind aligns with your actions, there's nothing that can stop you.